Carver High School in Dothan, Alabama, opened in 1949 to an enthusiastic community. For the next 20 years, it provided an excellent education to the thousands that passed through its doors. Carver closed as a high school in 1969 when it was combined with Dothan High School. These are the untold stories of what it was like there from former students that attended Carver and how it will always be a part of them.
The things I learned at Carver, we were taught to be well-rounded citizens, well-rounded people, to be loving, respectful of ourselves and respectful of each other. We were a pretty close-knit group, and we still are. We depended on each other, we had each other's back, we supported each other in whatever we were doing. I especially liked the way the young men of the class treated us like young ladies. They were always respectful. The teachers at Carver were our first examples of the kind of people we should be. They were men and women of integrity, of love, of respect, not only for we as students, but for each other as professionals and as people, as citizens of Dothan. And they represented Carver all the time, not just when they were at Carver, but whatever they were involved in. And that taught me to be mindful of who I am, where I am. I love the wonderful examples that we received from our teachers and from our administrators.
We had excellent teachers, role models, mentors, parents who cared about their children, parents that were involved in PTA. It was a village.
I was in the band. I played trombone. I held first and second seat in trombone. I loved it to go to school. I'm from over on the North Island side, and we were at that time, a lot of us had to walk to school from over on the North Island side until I got in the 10th grade, and I was able to get my sister bought me a car. Of course, I started driving back and forward, and I was glad I was, because at that time we had band rehearsal, and we'd have to stay after school to band rehearsal. But those are my fondest days in the band. Now I look back over my life at my teachers, the teachers and instructors of Carver High. I can't help but to think about Mrs. Holman, Mrs. Daniels, Mrs. Glanton, Mr. Bird, and all of those teachers. I can't help but to think about them as I pass through this journey of life as we speak now.
I learned from all of my instructors that they cared enough to spend the time. They cared enough to help us to understand. They cared enough to teach us what we did not know. And they cared enough to prepare us for the world to come. And I love them for it. I will never forget them for it. And they impacted my life to the point that I know this is where I am, this is the way I think, this is the way I treat people, and I am thankful that people treat me the same way, and it gives me a very fulfilled life just knowing how much they impacted me. My fondest memories are just being amongst other people like myself, learning about different personalities, learning how to get along with people, and forming lifelong friendships, going through struggles together, and actually acquiring a lot of hope that we got together to be successful, and just hoping that we could understand what success is all about and reach that success. Loving parents, loving all of our other family members, loving our friends, and the beginning of understanding that it does take a village.
My fondest memories is the timeline from 1968 to 1969. I was a sophomore at Carver High School, and it was probably the greatest training ground I have experienced in my life. Everything was possible. The senior class, the sophomore class, and I'm just a young whippersnapper, a rookie sophomore. And everything that I wanted to do, everybody allowed me to do it. My teachers were mentors. My classmates were mentors. I was the president of the sophomore class. I was in Future Teachers of America. I was in Future Scientists of America. I could be all I wanted to be at Carver High School that particular time of the year. I was a thespian. I was in all the plays. I even went to the junior senior prom as a sophomore at Carver High School. I didn't have it, I wasn't all of that, but I was able to make it happen. And that's, the fondest memory for me. It's just a training ground for success.
All the teachers, I liked all of them. Because I was like, when I was going early years, I was like an A student. And when I got along the 9th grade, I started looking at the little boys. So my grades dropped down a little bit, but never to failing. But everything was good there. They let me, we had home economics in the 9th grade. I already knew how to sew. I knew how to cook. I knew how to do all this stuff. So I was never one that had to do the work. I had to train the other children how to do the work. Had to show them how to lay out the patterns, how to cook, and all that stuff. And they was kind of on the jealous side, said I was a teacher's pet, but I was not. Them teachers treated me just like they treated everybody else.
Going to chapel every Friday was a very fun memory for us because we had an opportunity to see different types of talents and to figure out what our various talents might be. Acting, singing, reciting poetry, just so many different things that we did as far as theater was concerned. And I also like the fact that we had an opportunity to participate in things like sports, cheerleading. At break time, we had a chance to see each other momentarily and get to know people from different sides of town. And we just had good fellowship and fun with one another. We created our own fun and didn't realize that we didn't have what other children had, because we were happy at that particular time, as we can say today, in our own skin. We didn't rely on some other people to make us happy, or the things that a person could buy in the store to make us happy. We made our own fun, and we had a lot of fun. Children are missing out on that type of fun now. And when I look at it, that's what's absent from our children. They don't know how to have fun. You have to entertain them all the time. And we knew how, as our parents, our teachers would tell us, get somewhere and sit down and be quiet. We knew what that meant. And as we progress into adulthood, we realize there is a value in sitting and being quiet sometimes. So Carver taught me all of that, as well as the academic skills that I earned as I went through school. I learned so much that I feel like a lot of children aren't getting it now, because they taught us how to be ladies. They taught us how our other classmates, how to be gentlemen. They taught us how to do the basic skills that you need for living, sewing and doing your income taxes. Yes, they taught us to do our income taxes. And we learned how to write properly, how to write a real sentence, how to do a composition, how to act the proper way in the proper settings, how to dress the proper ways, what attire is proper for professionalism and also having fun. We learned all of that.
The input and the care of the instructors over there. Like I said, I had a good relationship with all of the teachers over there that I had that my path crossed. Had an excellent relationship, and like I said, at the end of my career, if I had stayed on the path that I was going, I would have probably been a retired history teacher, and that inspiration came from Mr. Cooper. You know, he was probably the most intriguing teacher that I had over there. He would always, everything was sort of like a story, you know, in his presentation. I remember, and I'll never forget it. He was talking about longitude and latitude in the class, and he singled out this one student in there. I won't call his name, and he said, "Okay, you've just been recruited and just got out of training in the Air Force as a pilot, and this is during the war, and you have been assigned to drop a bomb at longitude 32 and latitude 48. All right, you just took off. Go drop that bomb, and when you drop it, let me know." And he plotted the longitude and latitude where his students supposed to drop the bomb. He said, "You are now on your way to Leavenworth Penitentiary because you just bombed the White House." He said, "You just dropped the bomb on the White House." But everything was an intriguing story. The way he taught and helped people to understand, you know, the lectures and the teaching that he was doing.
I came from Indiana, and I came home. But I never get around Christmas time. They were getting out, and the kids were getting out of school, and the guy was carrying young girls' books. And that particular time was some fine young ladies in Dothan. It was some fine-looking girl. I couldn't wait till I get back in Indiana, and that summer, that's when I moved back to Dothan. I said, man, I got to go back to Dothan. Dothan, you know, they had some nice-looking girls in Dothan at that particular time. I said, oh, have mercy. Well, when I played sports, like basically everything, I played football, basketball, but baseball was my special sport. I played basketball and football to try to get in shape for baseball. Baseball, I played center field, and basketball, I played guard, and football, I was a receiver. After every football game, they have a dance, and they feed you a lot of the time when you're on road trip. They feed you after the game, after football games. I wasn't used to that type of stuff. You know, and then they used to have them 10-cent dances down there to the center. That was great. So I had a lot of good fun in Dothan, Alabama, and Carver. I signed a contract with Cleveland in the minor league A-ball in 1963 after I graduated from high school.
His first name, I believe, was Mike Arthur, but he was a track runner, and he ran the 400, and at the three-quarter mile mark of the 400, he would throw his arms up in the air, meaning that this race is over. You're not going to beat me. And I remember that. I don't know what grade I was in, but I remember that to this day. To see him, I look forward to seeing him run that race and saying, y'all can forget it. I've got this. So that's an inspiration to me, just thinking about him and what that feeling must have been like for him to know that he knew he was the best one in that race. So that's just one of them.
One of my fondest memories at Carver was when I was attempting to run track, and Coach Brian Smith, he decided that I was qualified to run the mile run because he felt I was in fit condition. And I remember I was running this race, and I was just about leading, and I had one guy to pass. And when I went to go to pass him, I passed him on the wrong side because I hadn't been taught that you don't pass him on the inner side, pass him on the outside. So as soon as I went to pass him, he moved over and he bumped me off the track. I got a little upset. So I jumped back on the track and I caught up with him. And then I got on the other side of him and I gave him a good job. I bumped him off the track. So I went on around, won the race. At least I thought I had won the race. But when I got around to the end, they say I was disqualified because I bumped the guy off the track. So I guess it didn't count because he did. But that was one of my fondest memories. And then watching my best friend, Mike Arthur Collins, always running that 440, which he never lost a race. And every time he would about get around to the end, he would throw his arms up like that, and you knew that was it. Nobody was going to catch it. But those were some of my fondest memories, besides just some of the good times that I had with my classmates. I believe that the teachers, especially Miss Holman, nobody wanted to be in her class because they say she was mean. Don't get in Miss Holman's classroom as a home. And but I found out that Miss Holman, along with some of the other teachers, but I'm talking about Miss Holman, she knew what we as blacks was going to be expecting out there. She had been through it. So she knew us as being young children. She needed to be straight with us. And so it seemed like she was hard, but I found out later that she was doing what she had to do to prepare us for life, the things that we as blacks, young people would encounter. So I at the time, it made you a little upset, but I come to know that, you know what, they was doing everything they did, even Miss Johnson, they all did it, to benefit us, to prepare us. And it did. Everything that I learned at Carver, whatever we went through, it actually prepared me to be able to face the world. And when we encounter certain things in life, we had that background that we was able to walk through it, go through it, and know that just because somebody say no, that didn't end it there. It built determination in us that you force on. In some cases, you found that you had to be better. When someone say no, it's just sad to say, but we knew that we had to be maybe 2 or 3 times better than the other races. Not being racist, but that was the fact. And I think everything that was done with our teachers at Carver, they prepared us for life.
We were a very close-knit class. This is our 60th year celebrating. And in the off years, some of us would get together. And, it's sad now because we lost a few members as it happened. But graduation was bittersweet. A lot of us, there were several in my class that we all went to Alabama State University. And after Alabama State, I left, went to work for Delta Airlines. But the love that we shared, the teachers that we had at Carver High School had a great impact on my life. And the night of graduation, everybody was afraid of Miss Holman. Graduation night, she came up to me. She said, "I know you think I was hard on you." So I started laughing. I said, "No, ma'am, I really didn't. I appreciate everything you did." She said, "Well, good. That was my point. Because I know you can do whatever you set your mind to do, and I want you to go ahead and do it." I said, "I promise you I will." So here I am, 60 years later, still loving my Carver High School, still loving my class of 66.
Carver High, I entered in the 7th grade from Carver High. And I knew mostly all of the people that went to Carver High, especially people that was 4 and 5 grades ahead of me, the seniors, I would say, because I used to hang around with older people. My uncle, Jimmy Goodson, I had a lot of relatives that went to Carver High. All of my relatives went to Carver High that was ahead of me. And I had a crush on a lot of older women at that time. I was in the 7th grade and I had crushes on 12th grade girls. And I knew their boyfriend. And it was something to experience that it was a challenge as a young man. But we had some teachers there that really encouraged us to do some things. One incident, like when I was in the 7th grade and I was trying out for football, and Mr. Zitty Rudolph, he said, Ray, he said, man, why don't you come out and try, which I did. And he said, I think you can make the team. So on the very first play, I went out, me and Kenny Jackson, and on the very first play, I broke the captain of the football team. I broke both his legs, not one, but both of them. Then the whole team said, we're gonna get you. Oh, you think you getting away? And I quit. I quit, man, because those guys was after me. But I got the name from Batman from playing football from my classmates, because I wasn't afraid to tackle you. I wasn't afraid to run the ball, but it was a challenge. Then we had teachers like Mr. Zeddy Rudolph, Mr. Roberts, Miss Holman. They didn't play. They did not play at all. Paul Bryant, the old guy was a good inspiration for the whole class. And they would challenge you. And I really enjoyed Carver High School. And it put you in a place that you needed to be. And if you were failing, they would say, hey, you need to get yourself together. They would encourage you to go farther. And Miss Holman, oh my goodness. She went to the same church I went, and if I did something that was illegal or something that my parents didn't approve of, oh, she would tell my mom, my grandmother, and my grandfather, and they did not play. It was like you had God on your side checking you out, and it was like you could not do anything and get away with it, okay? And that's one thing that really stuck with me. So when I quit high school back in '66, and I went to Vietnam, and I'm the class of '69. But the people in '69, when they were graduating from high school, I was doing my second tour in Vietnam. And I thought about them a lot. And that experience with me going into the military that young, I was with a lot of people that was a lot older than me and had graduated before me in Vietnam. So I got the experience from the people, teachers, the guys that were a lot older than me, and it still stuck with me. And I really appreciate them. And sometimes I think about and I look back, the generation today is, I don't know. If we don't teach the generation today that was taught to us back in then, we're gonna lose a whole lot, a lot of things. And I thank God for my coming up in Carver High.
When I think about Carver now in its absence, I think back, and the biggest thing I remember right now is we were the first class to graduate out of Lake Street into Carver. And when we graduated, they closed the school. But that's just most I learned from Carver was that our teachers were, they were like driving forces, and they didn't force you to do things, but they let you do the things well that you did, and they built on that. Me, I was one of those guys that I didn't want to be known as being smart, so I kind of played dumb sometimes. So the teachers used to get on me. They'd tell me, yeah, we know what you're doing, but yeah, they were a driving force, but they told me, you can do anything you want to do. Any challenge you get, you're going to take care of it. So when I went into the Air Force, I took that with me. And almost every job that I had in the Air Force was a challenge, something I'd never done before. During those times, the good jobs were being taken by people of other color. So I was one of the first black guys in the IT industry when it was on computer key punch cards called a 1550. And it was difficult. But I said, I'm not going to give it up. They told me I could do it, and I'm going to do it. When I finished, I was working with Oracle, probably one of the biggest software human resources companies in the world. And I was a traveling consultant who did the job of 2 people. And that's because our teachers always told us, you got this, you can do it. And our breeding comes from our teachers. And don't believe Mr. Dickens when he says it's going to hurt him as bad as it hurts you, because it really doesn't. But that's what he used to tell us. And Mr. Smith, standing in the hall beside his office with his hands on his hips, and Miss Holman right there looking out the door, watching everything to go by. But we had some great teachers, you know. We had an Oriental teacher named, I think her name was Confuji Armstrong. And her mother-in-law, Miss Armstrong, was also a teacher there at the same time, and they had classes next to each other. But almost every teacher there touched almost every student in some way, even if it was just because you went to the library. But yeah, our teachers were the foundation for what almost all of us have become. Those of us that decided to stick with it and listen when they were being taught to. But it was, whatever we are, it started there. We were taught to love one another and be fair. We took that through life, and even through the racial turmoil, we still didn't let that stop us from being the best person we could be. I think that was the greatest message we got from them, to be the best person you can be, no matter how you say it. And that's what I took with me.
The love I got was never forgotten from any of the teachers. And I realized that even those that were stern meant it all in love and sincerity. And that helped me as an adult to be the kind of adult I think they would have been very well proud of, because teaching is building people. And I think they did a wonderful job building us.